good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you are tuning in from around the world. My name is Toyiba, popularly known as Mustoy, and today we're going to have a live stream. This live stream is going to be all about how you can study in Italy on a scholarship. And I have here with me a very important guest who is going to shed a light on everything that you need to know about studying in Italy on a scholarship. Without talking too much, I don't want to bore you already. I'm delighted to invite Roslane to this stream. Hello,
Yeah.
Roslane.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, I'm
It's
here.
nice to have you here.
Thank you
Thank you
so
for
much for
joining
having
this
me.
live stream. Could you
Thank
please
you.
introduce yourself to everyone on this live stream right now?
All right. Good day, good afternoon, morning from wherever you're joining us today. My name is Rosalind Oladichi, and a brief introduction, right?
Yeah.
I I'm a graduate of the Department of Agriculture at the University of Bari. My course was Innovation Development in Agri-Food System at the University of Bari, Italy. And yeah, I just graduated last December. And also, I'm a
Yay.
YouTuber. Yeah, thank you. I create content around studying in Italy on scholarship and everything happening in Italy, actually. And then you can catch it on Roslyn Across Borders. So that's me
Yes.
in a
Shout out to Roslyn across borders. So if you're interested in taking this conversation further after this live stream, please check out our YouTube channel, Roslyn Across Borders. And that's our name. Yeah,
yeah.
now that we've been introduced, I've always heard a lot about like a lot of scholarship over there that I feel many people might be familiar with. I'm just familiar with scholarships in Asia, like particularly
Mm.
South Korea and the USA, which is very popular, and recently the UK, because now more Nigerians are migrating to the UK. So
Yeah.
I was really excited when you offered to like have this live stream with me and talk to my followers and my subscribers about it. So before we delve into the questions, could you please take us through your scholarship journey, right
Mm.
from Nigeria to you ended up there? How did you get to Italy to study on a scholarship?
My God. My scholarship journey is not unlike many other people,
Mm,
pretty much starting and with the aim of, okay, I want to actually study in abroad. It started with that generic so generic, like, okay, I want to study abroad, and then that
mm,
took me to the place of researching. And actually, I have some friends also um that were studying abroad. We started together, and at that point, I think the whole thought started while we were in 500 level at the University of Ibadan. And you will go to, they will say scholarship, I'll just go. And then at that point, it was Erasmus that was really reigning at that point, and people were talking about it, but we haven't even gone to NYC. And at that point, it's just I was not so keenly interested, So, but later on, during, when you are close to finishing, concluding your NYC, a lot of people will be like, so what next and everything. And then it
yeah.
was done on me, okay, so what next? And then I started putting out applications for Erasmus, and then also going online on YouTube like this for videos on US. And but that US own actually took a lot of effort out of me. I would
Yeah,
get to
yeah. It
school,
takes
then
a
I have
lot
to
of
I
determination.
mean,
Yes.
I got a lot of admission, but when it got to, okay, getting scholarship, code mailing in professors, I beg, I would do small and then I would give up,
It's not
So
easy.
later on, I just got to know from a friend about one scholarship in Italy. It was just for a diploma, master diploma. And then I applied. Unfortunately, I was given that scholarship. So I came to Italy for that diploma. It was for 6 months. It's the master diploma. And it was fully funded down to the ticket, air flight and the likes. So then when I was done with that one, I came back to Nigeria and then I got to know about my course, which was also very related to the one I did for master diploma. So I was just like, instead of holding a master diploma, let me just have the MSc. So that was why I searched for this course and then I came back and that's why I'm here. So
Wow,
in
what an
short,
interesting story. I love the determination. When I was in undergraduate, I never really bothered about scholarship, but I knew that there are lots of opportunities out there when I was
yeah,
ready. Sometimes I say it's luck that some of us actually got the offers that is fitting for us at the time that we got
yeah,
it. Because you could
yeah,
have gotten an offer and then there will be no way for you to pay for the flight ticket and all other things because
yes,
not all scholarship offer it. Which
yeah.
leads me to the next question. Could you
Mm.
give us like a brief introduction on that type of scholarship, the name of the scholarship, maybe the general criteria or where people can go for resources on how to like read more on the scholarship, please?
Mm. All right. Thank you for that. So, just to make it very easy for people to grasp, there are different kind of scholarship when it comes to Italy and EU as well. I talked about the first one is the Erasmus. That's the most popular and the one that is taking a lot of people. I don't think there is a I don't know. I don't know, but even only in Nigeria alone, in a year, across different courses or specialty in Erasmus, we have, and I think last year or last 2 years we had like 112
Wow,
um
applications.
yeah, not applications, students that got Erasmus. Yeah.
Ooh,
So
that's
yes,
quite a
it's
number.
still, yeah, it's in Nigeria alone, but it's not only one course, and that's how different Erasmus is. So Erasmus can say something, a course like AFEPA, it's like it's in agriculture, food and environmental policy, whatever, economic policy. They can say GLODEP is globalization, and so it's most of the time, what's it called? It's not like particular to a course. You can't say that you study pharmacy and you're looking for pharmacy, or you
Mm,
studied agriculture, you're looking for agriculture. It is most of the time intertwined with other things like that.
mm,
So it's not all straightforward. So you need effort in knowing, okay, this course, am I eligible to apply? So you need to know that kind of thing. So that is Erasmus. And Erasmus also is fully funded to T. I mean, to your everything, stipend, flight tickets, insurance, everything is funded. And that is why most people, and of course, since you know what it comes with, it's very competitive as well. So
yes,
another type is now, EU is different countries of 28, like maybe they added two more, like 30 now.
yes.
So if it is now individual countries, like let's now say Italy. So when it comes to Italy, we have also the government funded scholarship. The no, it is Erasmus, not Radmus. But then when it got to fully funded scholarship, like the government scholarship rather, when it comes to the government scholarship, we have anybody can also apply for that one. And again, it is also very competitive. It is you apply from Nigeria. Of course, you apply from Nigeria, but I mean that l- through the embassy of Italy in Nigeria.
Okay.
So when you apply and you are picked, you have to go to Abuja to do the interview for that one. That one is also fully funded, and very, very, now it's also very competitive. Then now moving forward to the kind of the one I came with, it is a university scholarship. So it is like an institute.
Okay.
So my school, the name of my school is CIEM, is like an agricultural institute in Italy. So they have funding. You have funding for a particular course, and then they partner with the university. That's for my course, and then they fund that thing. So to the food, in fact, they were giving us food, to the
Wow.
food, to the flights, to insurance, to
Accommodation.
everything. Yeah, accommodation, stipend, stipend, and everything. It was fully funded like that. And then there are some courses, but it's only agriculture. If people that are in agricultural field that can
Mm.
apply to those ones, yeah. So they have three other courses in line with this type of scholarship that I mentioned. So then the most popular one is now the regional scholarship. So it's still like the government scholarship, but this one, it is only when you get to Italy you can apply. So many people take
Okay.
advantage of this scholarship by applying from Nigeria, and then they get their visa through like self-sponsor.
Okay.
So you are coming from you go to the embassy to apply for your visa, but like you are self-sponsoring yourself, since you don't have a scholarship that is awarded from since sorry, when you are in Nigeria, you understand what I'm trying to communicate.
Yes. Yes.
So since you don't have that scholarship letter, then you apply as if you are self-sponsoring yourself. So
Mm.
when you now get to Italy, you can now apply for, when you get the visa, then you can come here. Of course, you can make some application from home, but it will be awarded only when you get here. So
Oh,
because
so
there
you
are other
mean,
things
mm,
you have to do.
so you mean the scholarship is usually awarded to people that are already in Italy?
Yes, because for you to even complete the application, you have to be in Italy, because there are some documents
Oh,
you have to submit that you have
right.
to get when you get here only. So that is how that one works. And then the peculiarity of that is that it's not really fully funded, and it just supports you with some of the things, per year they pay like 6,000 euros, and they don't pay just once, it's twice. So they pay like around January, December, January, around this period, then pay the rest at maybe July, towards the end of the semester, of the second semester. So that's how it comes. They also provide accommodation and canteen. Though if you are not going to stay, then you will get all the 6,000. If you are staying in the accommodation and then you are taking the food, I think the food is now compulsory anyways. So they remove part of it from that money, but that is part of it. So that the food, accommodation, and then stipend is what is provided in that kind of scholarship. And then anybody can apply. And I think part of the question is also where to get it. The first thing is to go to, there's this I don't know if you can help us write it, universitally.it, or on the group, on the chat, universitally, like just universitally, yeah, instead of university, just universitally.it. That's the,
Tally.
yeah, universitally.
Terle,
See,
right?
yes, yes,
Dot
uni,
it.
yes, .it. So when they get there,
Oh,
uh they can just, what's it called? No, no, no. University, like Italy, normal
oh,
Italy.
okay.
Yes, universitally.it. So
Okay.
when they get there, just go to that page. It will write everything that you are,
Like
sorry, it
this?
will exactly,
Okay.
exactly. So it will they will see a lot of courses in English language, especially because you don't understand Italian, right? So you are
Mm.
looking for a course that is in English, that is offered in English language. And then you can now search for, okay, if you are in the field of medicine, search for what you are looking for, economics, and then you will see the schools that offers those courses. You can always go to their each of the websites, see what is in the curriculum, does it align with what you want, then you can either ask for go to the secretariat and then see an email, shoot them an email for the admission process.
For
It's not really
clarification.
hard at exactly. It's not hard at all. They send you maybe a form to fill, a link to follow, and then you apply for the. It's not always hard. It is so far you have that the minimum requirement they want, you get in. So I think basically that is it.
Thank
I
you
hope
for
I
the
answered your
detailed,
question.
yes, you did. Thank you for the detailed explanation on the type of scholarship. And while we are still there, you have tried to talk about the criteria, but not in detail. So could you
Mhm.
tell us what are the things that they look out for? Because I can see that some people are already asking that, oh, do they accept NC, ND, and what's the minimum grade point, like maybe 2 do they accept? Does class doesn't matter there? Is it just excellence, excellence, like most universities in the world? So if you could
Yeah.
like go through that again for us, please.
All right. All right. Thank you. So, for Italy, they for first of all, let me just quickly clear this. There are times you will go through the English one, maybe for your course, maybe it is a electrical engineering, and then you see polytechnical. The
Mm,
polytechnic is not the same as polytechnic back at home, the way we see
mm,
polytechnic. No. Polytechnic, if you see Politecnico di Milano, like the Polytechnic of Milan, it is like University of Milan. That is
yes.
how they see it. So I see people asking for ND, NCE. It depends on universities, you know. If you, and then also what you are applying for. If you're applying for a master's, uh, and then with ND, it depends on the school. So most of the time, and that's why I always say, when you see a school, get to their secretariat, copy the mail, and then send them an inquiry mail, and then they will always reply to you. So you can ask question. But there is one person on my channel that was asking if a tutu can actually apply for one mass communication course or so. I just told her, just send an email. You won't believe that this lady has an admission for this
Wow.
year, and she's currently processing her document. In fact, she
For
will
visa.
go this month. Yeah. So that's what I always tell. Don't conclude. See, if an answer is not coming from that school directly, don't conclude. Just
Yes.
always send an email. Don't let anything
Yes, I think it's
discourage
because
you.
of where we come from. Because
Mm,
any secretariat in Nigeria, you can't just think of sending email to someone. So telling somebody from Nigeria that just send an email, you're going to get a response, it's like far-fetched for them. Like
yeah,
until
I
you really
understand.
experience how efficient and effective things are outside Nigeria before you really understand all those things. But all the same, either you are applying into Italy or any country in Asia, you need to like be able to ask the right questions because these
Mhm.
places are really far from home. You don't want a situation where you are somewhere that you're not supposed to be, or you are struggling somewhere where you don't have family. Yeah, so like
Yeah.
she said, it's better to ask them. And come to think of it, your major might not be their major of interest. So you might not
Mhm.
even be able to answer that. Even if you're in the same department, you can be under different research group. Whereas
Yeah.
the laws in other research group does not always apply to the laws in your research group. So it is
Mhm.
important to ask the people in charge, or people that are like secretaries in the department, so they will be able to provide good questions, good
Yeah.
answers to your questions.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you for that response. While we are still talking about the scholarship and its application and admission, could you please tell us some tips that people should have in mind while pursuing any type of scholarship to study in Italy? Like maybe from experience or from what you've heard about other people that are like mistakes that they could easily have avoided. So please
Hmm.
share one or two. Thank you.
Yeah, well, when it comes to Italy, it depends on which kind of scholarship that you have, and the major part. If you are opting for the part that you will self sponsor from home and then rely on scholarship when you get here, of course, that will mean that you have some money as well, right? But
Mm.
the difficult part, or the challenging part, don't let me say difficult, the challenging part is actually the part of applying for visa. You understand? So getting admission is not really very difficult if you have the result, and then is the part of getting a visa. So you might have admission, and then one thing that is very important also is your document. You
Mm.
have to legalize, you have to authenticate your document first at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Education in Abuja, because that will now make it authentic to be used outside the shore of
As a
Nigeria
legal
for
tender.
anywhere,
Yes.
exactly, anywhere. And then after that, is not you will still have to go to the Ministry of, sorry, not Ministry, Embassy of Italy in
Italy in
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Yeah. So when you get there, you have to now legalize that document. It's not free, except if you have your pre-enrollment form. That means you have gotten admission and the university have sent you a letter of that admission. So if you take that letter of admission with them, and that's number one tip, is for people that are going, even if you are doing, even if you got scholarship.
Mm.
Yeah, so if you get scholarship, you don't get scholarship, and you are doing self-sponsor, this tip is for everyone. So always make sure you go with that admission letter, because if you go, then you won't have to pay for legalization of your documents, like of your education document. Education documents are like your WAHEC, your BSc certificate, your statement of results. Those ones you won't pay for them, but you will
Mm.
only pay for the birth certificate, because it's not an education document. But if you don't have that pre-enrollment form, which like the admission letter, you have to pay for each document, and then
Wow.
it's always expensive. So
It
that's
gets more
number one
expensive.
tip. Yeah. So, but some people, because of when it gets to the high time when a lot of people are want to legalize their documents, and there are a lot of people, you are messaging them, they're not giving you dates, they prefer if they get a date and go before they get their pre-enrollment. But I always say, always start early, and that's one of the things for any scholarships. Always start early. When you
Yes.
start early and
Prepare.
then you get your scholarship letter fast, then you won't be waiting till, because most of the time resumption is around September, October. So you are not waiting till around May before you start your application process for the next academic session. You understand? So when they start early like that, they are able to get their pre-enrollment form, and then it saves them a lot of cost. So
Okay.
that is one thing I just want to major at. And then for a person, because for a person that is also that got scholarship, sincerely, your visa can come out in less than 5 days. In
Wow.
less than 5 days,
That
especially if
fast.
yes, if your scholarship is fully funded, it can come out in 3 days.
Wow.
I tell
That's
you,
really good.
sincerely, I've seen
Yeah.
people that they submitted an application by tomorrow in the night. They already see in there, because you apply through an agent. So
Okay.
we do is not direct. You don't submit directly to, don't
To the
submit your visa
embassy.
application to the embassy. You submit
Mm.
through TLS. So on the TLS app, you already seeing granted.
Wow.
So
That's
you are just
really
waiting
good.
to collect. Yes. So if
As
it is
long as
fully
you
funded,
prepared well and you have all your
mm,
documentations ready, there
yes.
shouldn't be any issue. That's a
Yeah,
very
that
nice
is if
tip.
it is fully funded. But if it is not fully if,
Disclaimer.
yes, if it is not fully funded, like you are
Yes.
funding yourself,
Mm.
the minimum is 15 days. If you prepare everything you need, every document you need, and then you meticulously provide proof of fund, because you have to show proof of fund,
Yes.
because you are saying you are sponsoring yourself.
Yes.
You
If you're
understand?
not on
Yeah.
scholarship, yes.
Exactly. So, well, that one, that is the challenging part. You have to do it in a way that, okay, you are able to, because it's not about, I always said, when it comes to the proof of fund part, it's
Mm.
not about the money. It's about the proof, because it's not about the funds. We are talking
Yeah.
about proof of funds. I always say it
Yes.
is
Like
funny.
it
It
is your
sounds like,
money. You just want to
you have to say,
convince
okay,
them
this
that you are
money, oh,
able to take care of yourself when you
it will
get
be
time.
available to me, that kind of stuff. So it's not
Exactly.
about, oh, I have 30 million in my account.
Is
They
it
don't care.
is it your money? How
Is
did
it
it
your
get there?
money?
Yes.
Will it be available to you? That's the question. If
Yes.
you're able to answer those questions,
Mm.
so I think, yeah,
I
basically
think
that's part.
generally, thank you so much. I'm sorry for cutting you short.
No, no, I was
Generally,
done.
scholarship is like sometimes they have the same footprints, right? Like generally, you have to notarize your document, legalize at the embassy. Generally, you need to buy flight ticket. Generally, you have to like show proof of funds to get your visa. Generally, you have to
Mhm.
wait to get your visa. It's just that with each country or region, there are like other things that can like
Yeah,
butter up those applications or show them that you really mean this business. Yeah, thank you
exactly.
for going into detail. And I think you've answered all the necessary questions about the scholarship. But later, we're going to examine some of the questions in the comment. But before
Mm.
we get to that, I also want to get personal now. How is life as an international student in Italy?
Hmm. Well. Life as an international student can be very interesting.
You have all the time.
Yeah, no wahala. So, well, it is it can get to be home away from home, and it's actually also dependent on where you are coming to. So the way Italy is structured is that the south is generally believed to be more homely, and of course, everywhere you will always find people that are homely, like you said, the last time we spoke. People are people wherever
Yes.
you find yourself. So, but here, um, let me be truthful to you. When you get here, you are coming to do a course in English language, but doesn't mean that everybody understand English language. I think let's start
Mm.
from here. I remember the first time.
Language barrier.
Language barrier is one of the things. I remember the first time I came, as I drove from the airport, I I held the admission letter where it was stated, the address of where I'm coming to, and they already actually sort everything for me. You said, well, that's one of the benefit of self-funded. You have like somebody telling you up and down, say, okay,
Mm.
this is where you should go. When you get to the taxi, just tell them. I could not even pronounce the address. I had to bring that thing out and then show them, this is where
Mm.
I'm going to, and then I just trust them, entered inside the bus, and then the person brought me to where I was going to. So that's one of the things. But it could get but one of the things that I always advise is also the fact that at least learn some basic thing to carry you around, buongiorno, good morning, come stai, so something that will
Yeah.
get you
Yeah.
started.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when you mention that number one, if you say buongiorno for someone and then you say come stai, they are happy, and then they
Yes.
go on blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
And then you are lost. But it's warm their hearts, and then you can start something of, even if it now go you now continue that conversation on Google Translate. But of
Yeah.
course, you have
You already set
someone.
up like common ground, like, oh, be comfortable
Exactly,
with me. Exactly. Exactly.
exactly.
That's
So
very relatable. Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's just one of the things you have to be smart about. Then for classes, it can actually get overwhelming. Italians are hard workers, I would say. When I first get it, also it depends on the school and also the department, it can vary. But my master's, what's it called now, schedule, oh my god, from Monday to Friday. At the point I was like, are you sure it was master I came here to do? I thought master used to flex. But it is it get as busy as it can. But again, another thing I now want to balance it with is that when there is work, there is work. When there is play, there is play.
Mm.
It is those playing where okay, they declare an holiday. Like during
Yeah.
this time, it's still holiday here in Italy, and then you can't you cannot mention sorry, you can't call someone, like you mail someone and they will answer you. Sorry, nobody will answer you. We are on holiday,
There's
and
no work.
that's one of the things I am getting to learn from them. That work life balance. Oh my God, no, they have it here. And yeah, so
Europeans are
that's one of
good
the
at
things that
that.
is also beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just to buttress the schedule, no, the language barrier. Don't be amazed if sometimes you get to the secretariat of your department and then they can't also speak English. So
Yeah. Because it's
that
not
is
their
one of
first language. So
yes,
that's what
yes.
I
And they
always say.
also
Like,
take
mm,
that language as very important. They teach in it's Italian is their official language in short.
exactly.
They were taught in Italian, they communicate in offices in Italian. So it can be like that. But there are some places, if it is Rome, be sure you because of the influx of tourists. If you get to Rome, be sure you will meet. If you get to Milan, to Florence, to all those top places in the north, you will get to meet a lot of people that speaks English language because there are a lot of expats there as well. So that is um that is it, Sha, for that. I don't know if yeah, let me stop there. If we get to other
No,
ones,
no, 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 don't stop. You need to tell us more about
okay.
your
So yeah,
experiences, like how
another
it
thing,
has been outside school, with
yeah.
friends, how
Mm-hmm.
depressing or lonely or happy you get, how worse can things get, When we post on social media about studying in abroad, most of us, I think generally, everyone wants everyone that is on their followership to see that, oh, we are okay, we are not bad, you know
Mm,
and in so doing, we often like leave out the ugly part. Maybe not
yeah,
intentionally, but of course, we wouldn't
yeah.
want to post ugly things now because we want people to see that, oh, we are not bad, we are not doing bad, right? We're doing all
True,
right, we are coping. But sometimes
true.
when discussions like this come up, I will say, oh, as we're talking about the good part, let's also talk about the bad part. Like
Mm-hmm.
a question that we have here, if there are issues of racism, like what level of racism, although I would understand if you don't want to comment on that.
No, no,
You're
no,
still
no,
there.
no problem.
Yeah. But like
Yeah.
cultural differences, what about the food? You know? Yeah.
Aha,
If you
nice
can't
one.
speak Italian, how do you order food? How do you know what you're ordering? That kind of thing. Please take us
Yeah.
through it.
Okay, so let me start from the question, the level of racism. No, it depends on where you are and also how you carry yourself, and also if you are looking at people's faces, and also don't let me be going like that, but just to simply answer that question, racism is everywhere. In fact, in Nigeria, racism is there. Are we not doing racism to
Exactly.
each
That's a
other?
very
So
perfect response.
I mean, so don't even look for, but there are good people too. There are good people, and you meet people that will really make you feel like, am I is there any
Am
part
I
of me that
special? Yeah.
that I didn't know that I brought here? So don't look at that part at all, because you've seen people come here, they excel, and they do whatever it is they want to achieve and get out. So that should not be that shouldn't even be part of the conversation. If people are living, there are a lot of people, there are a lot of blacks here for sure. Now, to the part of food, when I first got here, and it's very interesting for me. When I first got here, the first time I came, throughout that 6 months, there are some food. One of their food is actually pizza, yeah, pizza, yeah, right, and then also
Yeah.
pasta. That's one of the Italian food. Different kind of pasta, different kind of pizza. But then the way we, okay. Yeah, I was hearing some feedback. Okay, it's fine now. The way we know our own pizza is not the same pizza that they know, there's no pepper, there's nothing. And then the first time I ate it, I just left it there. And then there are a lot of pasta that I will not eat. The one that has mozzarella, the creamy pasta. I wasn't used to it even before I left Nigeria, right? So when I got it, I beg, don't give me. So there are times that I will go. I told you they were feeding us. I will go hungry for days until some of my friends now brought me into town, and then we went to this kebaberia. It's like Indian cuisine restaurant. And then I saw biryani. Biryani looks so much like fried rice. Oh my god. The way I ate that food that day, so as if I've never eaten in the weeks I've spent in Italy during that time. So there is also African market, so
Mm.
that I get food and then I can go home. No, Africa, we call it African market, but most of them, we also have those ones that are owned by African, but we have majority of them are actually Indian shop, Bangladeshi shop and the like. So they sell a lot of things you look for. Pepper, because I think our diet or our food are somewhat related. I told
Yes,
you
to some
when
extent.
I went. Yes. So biryani looks so much and tastes so much like fried rice. So I could eat it. I enjoyed it. And it's still one of my best food till tomorrow. That I learned when I came here. I haven't eaten it before, but I loved it it was love at first sight. Yeah, so
That's
that is
really
it.
nice. That's
Yes,
really
yes, for
nice.
food. But
Mm.
then I went home. When I came back, I now realized I can't continue to live like this, because when you talk about when you talk about African food, it is expensive.
Yeah.
It's not the same as what's it called? It's not the same. It's most of the time imported into the country. So I have to borrow myself brain, say, okay, let us now try and start eating. And I think one of the things that actually kind of made me not like those food, as I used to tell people that are coming in, go to a good restaurant where that food is locally made and then eat. You see that it's different from canteen food and the likes. So when I started going out, I think this seed of trying to explore food now came from one of my professors. She took us out one time and then she bought food for us. Oh my god, I enjoyed that food. And also being open-minded is one of the things that also helped me. At that point, I decided that I beg, I now want to start eating
Healthy.
eating their food, and then not even healthy, like trying. The first time I wasn't trying. Like if I see it like this, it's not like what I know. I will not eat. I prefer to just starve and not eat at all.
Wow.
Yes, that's what I was telling you. So I had to borrow myself brain. I said, no, at least have like an open-minded, be open-minded. So I started trying all those food and I love them
Mm.
sincerely. To pizza, now it is me that we go to market and we buy mozzarella. Mozzarella that it was for free. Because my courses, we go to some entrepreneurs that are doing it dairy, because of course it's related to dairy in agriculture. So we go to those places there, it's freshly made. They will give us. I'll go and give it to another person to eat. It is me now that will be using my money to spend on mozzarella.
To
So
buy.
see how, yeah. But I always tell people, don't force yourself, grow into it,
Exactly.
because
Be
that's
open-minded. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's one of the thing about food.
Yes.
And still talking about uh, um, friends. So it's you. They are. I think we are growing in community. We also have like uh Nigerian students in Italy. NISIT. It's on LinkedIn, it's on Instagram, and then yeah, I think we have those two accounts, and then we are growing in each city, and that community is helping a lot of things. Okay, you have problem with permit of stay, they help, but in individual school, there are still some places that doesn't have it. Have like plenty blacks there, especially Nigerians or African in general. But in my school, I think we had like maybe two people at the point, But one of the things is also the fact that there are other of Africans that you can always meet and mingle with. And then because wherever you are, that community, you need it a lot. You need it a lot.
Very
If it is
important.
not, yeah, very, very important in your growth, in knowing what is happening in your locality, because a lot of information you have to be abreast of them to take advantage of them or to guide yourself however you want,
Yes.
because things are changing, policies are changing, and then you have to have a community. If you're not um, aware of them, a lot of things can happen. So
Exactly.
that is that part. I think we are growing anyways, but year in, year out, a lot of people are coming into Italy, and then yeah, it is getting better. Um, talking
What
about
about cultural differences? How have you
yeah,
been able to navigate cultural differences as an international student?
yeah. So for culture differences, apart from, I think here too, they also respect uh not hierarchy, but that element of respect is still part of their community,
Mm.
So using prof, using sir, doctor, of course they don't carry it on their, in fact, whenever they are writing their name for a professor, it's just their
First
name and
name.
their exactly first name and surname. That's all. They really will not put doctor, professor, that kind of thing. But if you do it, they appreciate it, in short. So but other thing can also be the fact that they don't they don't also send you you know when it's not like Nigeria where you are living in
We're
a
all
place,
over
you are
other
coming
people's
inside.
differences. Like
Ehen.
business. You're always
they
putting
ma-
mouth where
Thank
you're not
you.
asked. Yeah.
They mind their business, and it
Yeah.
took me a long while to accustom to it. Me, as I'm coming, I'm greeting you. Well done. Good morning.
Good
This one, this one.
afternoon. I was
Ah,
work today. They'll be
I
like,
was work
who
today.
is this
Who
lady?
cares? Why are you disturbing? That's even if they answer you, But
Yeah.
it doesn't really mean they are fighting with you, or they don't
Or they
like
don't
you.
like
No.
you.
Don't take it too far. Don't read meanings into it at all. It took me that time, and I know that I beg, let everybody day their day. But when you need their help, go to them, ask them questions. Don't kill them with greetings.
Yeah.
They will
Yeah,
answer
that's so
you. And
relatable.
that's another thing, like they are very, very helpful, super helpful. And anything else that I want to talk about related to culture, yeah, that I think the language part is also one big thing.
Yeah.
If you could do a lot of anything to understand at least a bit of their language to get around with, why not? Do so, and then your life will be a lot easier,
Better. Yeah.
because when you get to the bus station, so that they will not carry you to where you don't know. There
I
was
can
one
relate
day,
to
just
that.
to share, we're in
Oh
the
my
bus, and
gosh.
then the bus we press, normally you press when you want to stop. It's not like you will not say oh wow, oh wow, oh, wow, you press, and then the bus was not stopping. Normally, you are supposed to have said, okay, QSO, or like you want to stop. But then
Yeah.
you don't understand. We didn't understand Italian. We have to be looking till they carry us to another bus stop, and that
Oh
means you
my
have
god.
to walk, back
Back.
and the like. So,
Yeah.
it will save you a lot of headache and
Just
a
learn the
lot of things.
basic.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you
Mm-hmm.
so much. Thank you so much. That
You're
was really
welcome.
interesting. I
Yeah.
enjoyed talking about that because most of those things I could relate to it. Like in Korea too, we have the language problem, and it took a long time before all of
Mm.
us really got accustomed to it. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
very
just
interesting.
to add, please.
Hmm.
I think one of the things I missed out is the part of accommodation.
Okay.
So, um, one of the things, especially if it is not fully funded, even if it is fully funded and they are not providing accommodation, or you don't want to stay at the dormitory, or you want to stay outside. One of the things that we are seeing across Europe and UK in this year is actually the shortage of accommodation, and it can be a challenge. So one of the mistake I see people make, especially people from our side, they are all about, okay, I want to travel, I want to travel. When they don't really get to sit down and get information. Where am I going to research about where they are going to and how to navigate effectively where they are going,
Mm,
and so then they just, oh, I get admission, I have the book flight, and then come to Italy, and then, okay, they don't even have even tea fare. You don't We are not spending naira here, it is
mm,
euros they spend there
mm,
to even pay taxi to get you to wherever you are going. And sometimes maybe they have a friend there, they are not even what's it called, maybe communicate very well to know how is accommodation,
mm,
because for accommodation is different.
mm,
It is different. You have to have searched for accommodation way before you come. And then the problem might also be that they don't want to respond to people that are not in Italy
mm.
yet, and also, the narrative that we have now, there are a lot of scammers that are on the internet. And then when
Yes.
they now see that you are black, uh, it's also a problem. So that is one of the things I always tell people to be aware of, and then make preparations before they come around. So this is one thing I always tell people: wherever you are going, you have to know what is obtainable there. And then it's different across borders.
Mm,
Because I see someone asking for cost of living, it is generally known that the north, like Rome, all those big places, Rome, Milan, Florence, and they are expensive than the south. It's also tourism. If you are going to Rome, the amount of time money you will spend there is different from if you go to Bari, which is in the south. And they also have beautiful places and the likes, but the hype and all
exactly.
this, so it
Yeah.
still impact on this cost of living. So if you are staying in Rome now, you are paying more
Much more
on eating, on
on
accommodation,
accommodation.
on everything. So that is one of the things I always tell people about. It will impact on the school they are choosing. So if you see that a lot of places are offering the course that you want, and one is in the south, one in the north, except you are going there for something, maybe because um of the space. Because if you are coming to study like electrical engineering, I will actually advise you do it in the north, like Milan or other
Because it's
places,
more
because
advanced.
yes, and also there are a lot of companies there. And that will also bring me to the part of job, because sometimes this scholarship might not really be enough. Of course, if you are prudent, you can get by a year with that scholarship. But if you really do not, sometimes you have to work and then to support yourself more on it, because as I have said, they don't pay immediately, and then they don't pay per month. They
Mm,
pay in two installments, so you have to be able to manage yourself. So, and then the other part is that jobs are generally more available, especially for students, in the north than in the south.
mm.
Of course, yeah. So this is one of the, so it is generally more available. You will see a lot of it that you can do, but in the south, it might be limited. So that's one thing I also wanted to add before you ask other questions.
Thank you. Thank you for those clarification. Right
Mm.
now, I already asked all the questions that I prepared, but if there are other things that I forgot to ask, but you feel it's necessary for you to add for the sake of this discussion, please go ahead. And while we are on that too, I would like to especially appreciate you for your
Mm.
time today and for the
Yeah.
detailed responses to the questions. And if you want to talk now, please.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Yes. So okay, I think there are some questions that are coming in.
Yes,
I really
I
appreciate
wanted you to
you
settle
for.
first from the previous one that I already asked before we delve into the comment section, because now we have plenty of questions now.
Yeah, no problem. I'm available and happy to ask them. But of course, I'm also grateful for the opportunity to come here as well. I do not take it
Thank you so
for
much.
granted. Yeah.
Okay, so uh, somebody asked that what if we are not applying for masters but to apply further there? I don't know what that question means.
Yeah, so
Maybe.
if that
Mm,
person can clarify what does
yes.
further means, if you are not applying for masters, you can apply for if it is was BSc or PhD. Is there are also and yeah, let me just quickly chip this in. PhD scholarships is also very very easy to get. It's most of the time readily funded. Those ones now, it's not some might be fully funded, some um just be the
Partial.
part of stipend,
Okay.
but it is monthly. I think for a PhD, the least you get is that they pay like 1,003 monthly,
Okay.
1,003 euros monthly for PhD. So they are there. There are plenty in Switzerland, in Italy, in Germany. You just have to search, search for if it is a school that then go to their PhD session, search for it. For Italy, there's session, like it is because it is controlled by the government rather. Like this admission too, it's controlled under that portal. That portal is where you get every of the courses offered by every of the universities. So if you go to the section of the PhD, you could see, but there's also another portal for PhD as well that you can just go and then search for it, search for your course, and then apply. Most of the time, if you have your masters already, and I think most people are not opening the eyes of people are not open to this part as well. If you have your masters, you have one publication or not, you have a proposal. If you don't have publication, you have a proposal at least, and then apply, attach all your other documents. Most of the time, if you have a very good grade, you get it, and then you start preparing, and then so that part I just wanted to chip it in.
Clarify.
So if you want to further, it depends on where. There are also other courses like that diploma I talked about. It is not academic, it is professional, you know. So all these professional courses that we do 6 months and the like. So it's like a diploma. If you are working and you went for that course in your field and you come back present it, it might earn you a promotion, Those are some of
Oh,
other
we have
courses.
such
Yes.
programs here too. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So that was the first one I did. That's why I was like, okay, let me kuku put do the academic one, MSc, because that one is like a master diploma. It's not
Mhm.
really MSc that you can use to further into PhD or other thing. It's just like a professional masters. So there are other type of courses as well that you can explore. So it depends on what you want. Yeah.
Thank you so much for chipping that in. And I think that has answered that question to the best of our understanding. Another question is good afternoon. I just finished my NCE program at the Kwara State College of Education, and I was the best graduate student in computer science. Can I apply with my NCE certificate? Do you know what NCE is?
Yeah, I know NC, but I really do not know. Well, congratulations actually on being the best graduating student. I wanted to say,
Congratulations. That's
well
not
done.
easy feat.
That's
Yes.
yeah, yeah, that's really commendable. Well done. And applying with NCE, as I said before, I think I've answered it before. It is school dependent. There are some school that will recognize it and accept it, while there are some school that won't accept it. So it will take some effort from you. If you see the course you are interested in and some schools that are just write out the schools that are offering that course, and then their email, get it, and then shoot them an email, write an email to them, just asking if they
If they
accept this
accept.
thing. And one of the things you do is, I don't want you to send a blanket email. Attach that result to the email you are sending. You understand? So they can access it and then give you a proper response. So that is how you go about, because it doesn't really cost you anything.
Yes.
So shoot it, and then they can advise you, okay, this is what you do. Do you have this? Do you have that? If you have it, send it to them. And then, yeah, that is it. So I think that's what I will ask you to do. You can put everything together, ask them, and yeah, you can
Thank you for
never
that
tell. Yeah.
response. Yeah,
Mhm.
I was going to say too that you already mentioned something like that. Like, it's not
Even
possible for
for
you to know the requirements for all certification. There are quite
Yes,
many.
yes.
Yeah, even
Yeah,
in
even for
Nigeria.
ND, it's still the same. It's still the same thing. I think someone asked Erasmus, can an ND holder apply for it? I think we've seen some program where it is applied. That I've said that Erasmus is not just one course. It
Yes.
has a lot of courses in it. So there
Yes.
is still, I think on my channel, I made a video about some Erasmus scholarship that are still opening. So you can also check that one out if you have some of your courses in it. Some are still open. Some will close by the deadline will be January 31st. Some will be February 28th. It depends on the course. So it's still the same thing. One of the things you can do, as Mustoy said the other time, it might not come natural to you to send email, but please there is no wrong question, or there's no stupid question with them. Ask your question. Just make sure that
Exactly.
you have
Clarify
done.
things.
Yes,
Mm.
and then you support whatever you are asking with maybe supporting document or whatever, so they understand what you're asking. But be sure that if you send them an email, they will answer you. So put an email through. If this is the result you have, can you, and also read. There's one of the shots that I released recently, where someone, and Erasmus, because I also have a point on my channel where I try to bring in past scholars, and like one Erasmus scholar, I interviewed him, and it was like, one of the things that will set you apart is when you get that the requirements. You go to their webpage, read every information on it,
Exactly.
like your life depend on it, because
Yeah.
it will help you in actually drafting motivation letter. So they are not there to fund, because I said Erasmus is super, super competitive,
Competitive. Exactly.
Yeah. So they are not trying to fund your motivation or your ambition. They are trying to fund what they want to. He explained it one way that I really love, that they have a
What you
mission, they have
presented.
an aim. Exactly. So how do you want to fit into the aim that they have? That's
Mm.
what they want, right? So
Yes.
if it is, when you are now you sat down to read the aim, the mission of that course, then you can now bring yourself, whatever it is your own motivation is, then put it in that aim, so that you
To
marry both of
align.
them together. Yes. So that is when they will see that, no, this person know what they are doing. So it is not scholarship is hard work, as I say, is a full-time job.
Time job.
So you have to
Yeah.
put your energy into it.
Mm.
So you will not just, even if you are applying, because right now I think the policy say that you can apply for as many Erasmus as possible. So before, you can only apply for two, I think. But
Okay.
now you can apply for it. But I will always advise people, even though you can apply to as many as possible, it's better to put um to do a bit two quality ones, than you now apply for five, and then everything is you get
Jam
rejection.
packed. Yeah. No
Yes,
focus. Yeah.
yes.
Mm.
And you can't submit the same motivation for two courses. It's not possible. So that will
Exactly.
mean
You have
that
to
if you are
tailor
submit
your motivation towards one particular. Yeah. Exactly. That's
exactly.
correct.
So if you are submitting application for 5 different scholarship in Erasmus or any other places, that means you have 5 different motivation
Mm.
later.
Right. Mm.
So that is one of the things I want you to go. So it's not let me use this three line, it's not beans. So you have to put in all your best, in applying for Erasmus if it is something you want to go with. But if you get it, it's
It's a good
it's good.
scholarship. Yes,
Mm,
it's a very
mm,
popular scholarship. I'm sure everyone's familiar with it. Thank you for
yeah.
that detailed response. And I think Lawal Muslimat sent a follow up that do I have a higher chance of gaining admission there by adding my best student certificate? Of course, I always say this, any document that you have, as long as you obtain it formally without anything attached and it's your name on that certificate, attach it. Seriously. And most schools in international community always love this. So please do that. And requirements for the required documents she had already explained at the beginning, and it's something you can easily access online too. And is English proficiency test compulsory? Is it compulsory?
Well, for that, you don't need English proficiency exam. Yeah, like IELTS also, you don't. Of course, if you
Thank you.
have before, you can add, but there is a document
It's
we
just
usually
supporting
take.
document.
Yeah, there's a document. Of course, they will, because since you are applying to study in English, they will ask for that. But there's a document we submit, like that document you ask from your
Proficiency certificate
university.
from university.
Yes, that
Yes,
okay, you studied your
that's
BSc.
sufficient.
Yes, in English language. If you attach it, it is sufficient for you. So that is one of the things you had in place of that. So you don't need to write an exam. And then I think I saw one question, say, what is the average cost of living for students over there? Well, as I've said, it's actually
It
dependent
varies.
on,
You
yeah,
answer
it
that in
varies,
detail.
yes. Yeah,
Yes.
but uh, give or take, say 800 per month. If you put even below, it depends. That's why I said the
Yes, it's
majority of
always
that
dependent in
cost.
the area you are living. Your accommodation
Yeah,
cost will depend on where you are.
exactly.
Your
Yeah,
food cost will be dependent on
depend on
where
where
you
you
are.
are.
So
Yes.
I think most stipend calculate all these things based on the areas that the university
Mm-hmm.
is. And most
Yeah.
times the stipend that they pay is usually enough if you are prudent. If you
Then.
don't spend on things that are not important, then you won't have issues. So I always
Yeah.
tell people that the money is always enough. It's just dependent on personal saving culture or how prudent you are. So thank you for that. The last question
Yeah.
is, what are the things expected of a recent graduate applying for a scholarship? Now, I don't think this is peculiar to the type of scholarship that we're talking about, but I would like to answer that.
Okay,
So
please.
generally, if you're applying for a scholarship, you need your certificates. All the
Mm-hmm.
certificates. If you're applying for PhD, you need masters and doctorate and your bachelor's. If you're
Yeah.
applying for masters, then definitely you need your bachelor's certificates. That's natural. And then when you need to apply for an international scholarship, then you need to prove that your document is like authentic. That's where notarization comes in. So when we say you must have this, you must have that. If you go to Google, they are easily there. And for someone that is familiar with applying for scholarship abroad, you would already know the things that you need to like prepare. This includes like motivation letter, citizenship certificate or NIN, right? And this
Yeah.
includes your certificates, you buy flight ticket now.
Your passport, please
Your
don't forget
passport
that
is
one.
important. That's number one. That's why I said name. Because sometimes some scholarship just asks you for your national identification number. And when
Mm-hmm.
you are considered for the scholarship, when it's getting serious, they start asking for the international passports, right?
Yeah.
So all these things are basic. Now,
Mm.
each scholarship have their peculiar requirement too, aside from the general one. And this varies from country to country. So when you are like arranging documents from the advertisement of the scholarship, you already know the things that you're supposed to add. All
Mm-hmm.
scholarship would encourage you to have extracurricular certificates like volunteering that you ask or papers. If you're applying for PhD, you need to have papers. If you don't have papers, you need to show them that you have something in the works, right?
Mm,
And if you are trying to go through the code mailing of professor, there are series of code mailing formats online that you can use, right?
mm,
So all these things are like common things. You just need to research, go
yeah.
further. Stop staying in your comfort zone or saying, "Oh, I messaged you, you didn't reply me." Did you ask online before you come to ask me personally? Like now, I invited Adi to talk about Italy scholarship. Doesn't mean that I know in depthly what Italy scholarships are about, right? So I just want to avail you the opportunity to be introduced to the scholarship. And then if you're interested in the scholarship, you make extra effort. So I hope that answers your question. So
Yeah.
the last, we have a new question now. When you're applying for a MSc program, can statement of results represent certificate? It's not the same. It's not the
Yeah,
same thing.
yeah. So for that, it depends on the places,
The university, yes.
university.
Yes.
So the statement of results is one of the thing that maybe the first thing that gets out before your original certificate comes out. So there are some that we have accept it, and then maybe two for the evaluation phase.
Mm.
But when you now got accepted, you have to produce
Tender
that,
your
yeah, the
original
original
certificate.
certificate. Yeah, and
Exactly.
then to buttress what you were saying, I saw someone actually ask, is there a something for the mail? One thing mail, and
Oh
then
yeah, like a
yeah,
format
so yeah, a format for the mail. There are a lot of formats on
online.
online. It's for you
Just
to,
Google cold mail format.
eh,
You
yes, you will see
series
a
of
lot of
them.
it. But it's now
Exactly.
not that you now copy it. No, you have
Exactly.
to tailor it. That's to be from your own experience, from your own certification, what you
Exactly.
have, put everything together and then submit. So it takes that you have to be dedicated to actually search out a lot of these things.
Yeah.
So sometimes statement of results, you can use it to get to apply for a lot of scholarship, except in the now say that uh they need it to be certificate gangan. That's
Mm-hmm.
and then I always advise recent graduates, when you know that you want to apply for scholarship, immediately you are done with school, make efforts to get out your original certificate. You will need it. Make efforts to get your original certificate. And then another advice
Advice.
is be in touch with your supervisor. I think that she mentioned, someone mentioned it, because you will need motivation letter. There are
Yes.
times
And recommendation.
yeah, sorry, recommendation letter, reference letter.
Sometimes some
you
school
know
asks for both. Like,
yes.
oh, aside from recommending, can you talk about their motivation for work and all that?
Wow,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Yes. So it can be, you need it. Sometimes you might apply to five, what's it called? Five universities, and then you need different reference letter. One of the
Exactly.
good thing is also the fact that you have someone to refer you and know you. So it's not until you are, for people, I don't know, maybe it's only people that are graduate that are here. But if you still have advantage of maybe being in school and then you are looking for scholarship, have a good relationship with your supervisor or your teachers or your
Yes.
lecturer.
Make
You
sure.
know,
Mm.
because there are times you will say that okay, it is only one university. You might be lucky. The first university you apply to, that's the first admission you get. You might
Yeah.
not,
If you have
but there,
strong
some of
documents, it's
us
not
had to apply.
impossible.
Yeah,
Yes.
we applied to like countless university that I can't use it. I applied to UK, applied to US,
Mhm.
applied to for Erasmus,
Yeah.
different Erasmus at different point in time. So I didn't get the first year I started scouting for scholarship was not the first year I got scholarship, and I
Mm.
applied to several, more than 20. So don't be discouraged also when you are starting. So because I've been speaking scholarship since it seems as if it was a sweet story. No,
Mm.
I applied to Erasmus couple of time. I got admission maybe twice. that they asked me to self fund. I don't have money to fund it because so I had to leave it. I got one that were rejected. So
Oh
I
my
also got
gosh.
love letter, like we call rejection letter. I got it plenty. I had a lot of admission in the UK too. I couldn't fund. I left it because there wasn't scholarship for them. Also US. So it might not be the first time, but if you don't have a personal relationship, good relationship with your lecturer, you might not have to go back and then say, oh, I need this, I need that. And then the best is actually for them to have to for you to be able to go there. Please help me write a recommendation letter, and it shouldn't be one generic whatever. They should be able to talk about you, in a way that, oh, I know this person, I know her ability, that kind of
Mhm.
thing. So it's something to actually work on.
Yeah.
Just to buttress that question on, as a recent graduate, and then he was asking for volunteering, publishing your work. Yeah, if you could publish your work, why not? It boosts your
All
scholarship
those
is
are
now.
secondary requirements. Yeah.
Yeah,
Some
it
schools will
is.
even buttress that any other documents that they will become supporting document. So I
Exactly.
feel like, yeah, that question is, yeah, it's important, but it's not like general like documents that you need. Of course, it's a very
Yeah.
nice question because some people have
Mm-hmm.
documents and at the point of application they don't even attach them. So I feel like, why
Why?
did you have, even if you're into sports and it's not relevant to your major,
Please
right?
add.
Include it. It shows
Yes.
them that, oh, you don't, your only life is not actually going to school. You have other
Mm-hmm.
extracurricular activities. You can work under
Multitask.
pressure. You can
Yes.
multitask. So all these things have other connotation apart from actually tendering that certificate. So yeah, you should add everything. Thank you for your
Yeah.
insightful discussion tonight,
You're
Tinuade.
welcome.
Thank you for your time, and it's
Yeah.
been a very wonderful conversation with you. I keep saying tonight because it's night time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And while we are saying goodbyes again, I want to thank you for agreeing to join this live stream and talk about your experience and the scholarship generally. And I hope
Mhm.
that anyone that views it will be able to take one or two that would help them in their scholarship journey. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And looking forward to seeing you again in my next streams. I wish to have this as frequent as possible, God's willing. So, is
Awesome.
there anything you want to add as a closing?
Yeah, well, thank you so much again for having me. It's been an interesting time as well, always. So, I just want to also just admonish them that don't stop, don't be discouraged. It can take a lot of time, but it will happen, especially if God wish. Just also put God in your planning.
Yes.
Don't give him out, and do everything possible on your own. Every other thing will fall in place. So that's what I want to
Thank you
also
so much.
add. Yeah, and if you are also now interested in taking the scholarship in Italy further, I do. That's what I do on my YouTube. YouTube page. It's Rosalind Across Borders. You can always search it online. I have a lot of resources on proof of fund, on applying, getting English taught courses and the like. So you can check them out. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. You are very grateful. And thank you, everyone. This is where we say bye
Welcome.
bye.
Yeah.